gentlemen, you're looking at Triple Threat Talk. I'm Dean Hill.
This is Ricky Chevy, and I'm the blue-collar millionaire.
I'm Mr. Peck. God, that's great every time. Spectacular.
We're the Bronis Brothers.
I am the One Girl Revolution, Taylor Hendricks.
This is Brandon Espinoza.
I'm the Assassin.
I'm Bruno Raul Limata.
I'm James Moose Thomas.
I'm Shiloh Jones.
My name is Ron Head. I'm the announcer for OVW.
I'm Jamin Olivencia.
I'm Alex Silva. I'm Rocco Bellagio.
I'm Kerry Bodie, the Ohio Valley Wrestling fan advocate.
Raphael Constantine.
I'm Rand Perez. My name's Muhammad Ali. Baez.
I'm Paradise.
This is Ohio Valley Wrestling referee Chris Sharp.
This is Sexy Sean Casey. I'm Chris Silvio.
This is Michael Hayes. This is Jason Wayne.
We'll see you at ringside.
An update. So as you can see, we're not at the Fox and the Hound. This is not a Triple Threat Talk episode. This is an update. Instead of just doing the off-key thing, we showed up, or these two showed up at the Fox and Hound earlier. Closed. Shut down. Don't know what happened.
Basically what happened is he called the regional manager of the Fox and the Hound here in Louisville, and he went there and it was like a ghost town. The blinds were closed, the patio furniture was gone, the lights were off inside. He said apparently a locksmith was there, which is obviously bad news because obviously they're changing the locks. And he found out from the regional manager that they shut him down this morning as of, I guess, Wednesday.
Right.
They shut him down completely during that day. And
Called this morning, said shut it down, and it was shut down within a day.
They're going to renovate.
Within hours, really.
They're renovating the place. Good news and bad news. Bad news if you're a Fox and the Hound goer and lover, they're not going to be Fox and the Hound anymore. Fox and the Hound is gone.
Well, they're not gone.
Well, I'm saying
they're rebranding.
They're rebranding, so it won't be called Fox and the Hound anymore. It'll be open in 4 months. So 4 months is 4 months goes 4 months goes by quick. But as of right now, Fox and the Hound is no more at this point.
So we're back out looking. We're going to be exploring a couple places in the next couple weeks. We will be back with an episode next week, though, whether it's here, whether it's wherever. This is Memorial Day, day after Memorial Day. Anywhere I go, Erica will tell you, if I see someone in uniform, I always thank them. So Triple Threat Talk, before we do anything, wants to thank Michael Hayes, Jason Wayne, and Ali Baez for your service and your sacrifice for this country, and Adam Borders, who's a new friend of ours, and anybody, all the men, women, and children out there who put their lives on the line for our freedom. We want to thank you. We want to thank you for everything you do, especially, I mean, I'm not trying to single anybody out here, but especially people like Michael Hayes who have been through pretty much the worst.
Right.
You know, I mean, not to say that Jason Wayne and Ali Baez haven't, but they came back whole, I guess, is the other way to put it.
Pretty much.
Michael Hayes is definitely a great person, of course, to do what he does in the ring. And but with that being said, we do have a couple things to touch on. Chris Jericho, what do y'all think? For those of you who don't know, Chris Jericho was in Brazil, made some inappropriate moves with the Brazilian flag, and they don't stand for that down there. It's worse than here. He was basically given two options. Either option A, we're going to arrest you, or option B, break the word that we don't say here, but we will right now, break kayfabe, and apologize to everybody in this arena. Begrudgingly, Jericho did apologize to everyone in the arena.
Right.
What do you guys think?
Well,
I don't think so.
I think it's legit.
I think that's legit.
Maybe.
I think
if it was storyline, he would still be there for.
I think
he wouldn't be suspended.
I mean, the actions he did were.
It could still.
I mean, the thing about that is, he was trying to do his job and be a heel, but it was the wrong way to go about it. I don't know if he thought that was the wrong thing to do, but at the time he probably thought it was the right thing to do. Just he was playing his character, the heel character that he is. But make a long story short, he did what he did, and he's got to pay the crime for it. That's WWE's not going to tolerate that stuff.
I mean, and a lot of people did think it was storyline. A lot of people
It could still be.
I don't see the WWE suspending him and all this hoopla made about it if it was storyline.
Well, he was leaving anyway.
Right, but it comes to a point where when people that are in places that we know they are and they're telling us that is not scripted, then I've got no reason not to believe it.
The reason why I think it could be storyline, like I said, number one, he's leaving anyway, and maybe the writers are like, well,
what do we do?
We don't really know what to do with them. So it could be their way of writing them off early. So maybe not. I don't know.
Speaking of suspensions, actually, this is posted on WWE.com today,
like just a few minutes ago,
and it's actually a big shock because I didn't think he did this anymore. I know he used to, but I think he did it anymore.
Strike 2.
Randy Orton, as Doctor said, strike 2. He got found with the wellness policy and all that stuff. 60-day suspended, his second strike. Orton is on a very small leash because if he does it again,
he's gone. But that never stays in the WWE, so I hope he's gone about a year and then come back.
But I mean, 60 days.
Nice pick up for TNA, right?
Yeah, 60 days, 2 months. So he misses No Way Out, and he's going to have a match with Jericho. And then he misses whatever after.
So we're going to have a suspension match.
Whoever wins is going to be suspended.
So that's that.
But I do want to give a quick shout out to Dario Franchitti for winning the Indy 500 for a third time. He honored his good friend Dan Weldon. It was very emotional, and congratulations to him and his beautiful wife Ashley Judd. She got more recognition than he did. It was pretty funny. The PA announcer actually said congratulations to Ashley Judd and Dario Franchitti.
I didn't pick that up.
That's pretty bad.
But yeah, they booed her. Apparently, she's not liked because of her politics. There was some speculation that it might be her connection with UAK. Obviously, UAK's #1 fan. But it turns out that the reason people were saying that she was booing, people close to the 500 saying she was booed on air because of her politics, which we won't go into because we don't go into politics here. But if you watch the 500, that's what happened there.
I guess we'll get into OVW.
OVW, before anything, we want to thank Dean Hill. Very good interview.
The voice of OVW.
It is kind of long, but we were able to catch up to OVW's Dean Hill, and anytime you do that, you go with it because he's a fantastic storyteller. It is not it's not as long as it seems because he's such a good interview. Everything happened. We caught up earlier with Dean Hill about the recent events in OVW. Have a look.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to world famous Danny Davis. And I'm standing by the world famous, the voice of Ohio Valley Wrestling, Mr. Dean Hill.
You just did my bit. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Triple Threat Talk. I'm Dean Hill alongside, what's your name?
Postmaster Joe.
Postmaster Joe. Obviously, you just did my bit. That was great. You did a good job.
Well, you get a awesome introduction. You're one of the finest wrestling icons in this business, if you ask me. I mean, you've seen them all, Dean. You've seen the likes of Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee, Jeff Jarrett, John Cena, just to name a few. I mean, you've seen...
I've had the pleasure of announcing Fez, which goes back to generations. So I've had the pleasure of being a ring partner, tag team partner with Handsome Jimmy Valiant. That was an experience that I'll never forget. Yeah, I've seen a few things, I guess. It comes with being an old guy.
So, we all know, everybody gets their start in this business somehow. And you've told me before, you didn't really have an inspiration. Pro wrestling wasn't really what you wanted to be involved with. You kind of had a weird scenario of what brought you into this business. So tell the fans out there exactly how you got your start.
It wasn't that I didn't want to be in pro wrestling, it's just I never really considered it or thought about it. I started out on my grandfather's lap watching Dick the Bruiser and Gorgeous George on the one TV set in Indiana. But as an off-duty job as a Louisville police officer, I used to run security for Louisville Gardens. Every Tuesday night, we would walk the bad guys, if you will, out to the ring. I walked Hulk Hogan out the first time he ever came. I walked Andy Kaufman to the ring the first time that he came to Louisville Gardens. And one week, the ring announcer wasn't able to be there, and Christine Jarrett asked me if I wanted to be the ring announcer for that night, and I thought, well, it would be fun, so I did. At the end of the night, she said that, well, Dean, you got interesting tone to your voice. do you want to do it again next week? So in the week between, I actually turned on the television, paid attention to Lance Russell and Mean Gene and Gordon Soley, and learned how they did it. I came back the next week with a nicer jacket on and dropped my voice down a little bit and said, "And in this corner," and next thing you know, they offered me the job.
All right, good stuff. So you've been through a lot, you've seen a lot. What to this point in your career has been your biggest moment or your highlight of getting involved in professional wrestling?
Well, quite honestly, there's two or three. One of the biggest events that they had with USW Wrestling many years ago was to almost 5,000 people at Louisville Gardens. The Last Dance, which was pretty close to that at Louisville Gardens, was huge. One of the most electrifying moments in my career was at Kentucky Kingdom, just after John Cena had gone to the WWF at that time, and he was coming back to be part of our show. We had 3,500 people in Kentucky Kingdom, and it started to pour. I don't mean just rain. I mean it was raining so hard the rain was jumping an inch up off the ground when it hit the pavement.
So we're talking gully washing.
We're talking gully washing. Not a single person left. And John Cena stood on top of a Humvee surrounded by the military, and they marched him into that arena, and you could have touched any one single person and electrified the entire Kentucky Kingdom. And it was just such a huge moment, and I was fortunate to be a part of that.
Awesome stuff. So you obviously interviewed a lot of superstars over the years. You've interacted with a lot of superstars over the years. You've seen a lot. In your mind personally, who's been some of the best interviews that you've been able to, interview?
Well, gosh, how many professional wrestlers can you go through? As far as actually having a chance to do an interview with somebody that's very articulate and his mind is constantly working, you'd have to put Jim Cornette and Paul Heyman in that area. As far as professional wrestlers go, I'd have to say Al Snow is one of the smartest guys. As far as somebody of huge name, you'd have to go back to Jerry the King Lawler, Hanson Jimmy Valiant. One of the most awkward moments that I had was with one of the road but it wasn't Hawk.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't an in-depth interview. It was kind of quick, and one of those things where you said, "Yes, sir, thank you," and you walked away.
So finally, before we let you go here, we know that Miss Josette Bynum has been reigning some terror, and I know it's under your skin pretty heavy.
Yeah, especially since I've defended a few people that have turned their back on OVW. Case in point. Okay, come here. The doctor stepped up and said that he made an observation a few months ago that he was a potential cancer that was growing in OVW. Sometimes the son that you're hoping will never go wrong or go down the wrong path, you will defend that prodigal son to the nth degree. And I had that situation with him. And I truly thought that, or perhaps I should say I didn't want to think, that what the doctor was saying was something that was potentially true. I was wrong. The doctor was right. And mark that down as the score, Dean Hill 25, the doctor won.
I like that. That sounds about right.
How's it feel to finally be right one time?
Well, I think our viewers know. I appreciate the humor there. The viewers know I'm right
a lot. I haven't been right over you. I haven't really, we haven't really had differences of opinion. This was just one. And I know that it definitely, for people here in the Davis Arena, they saw us, you would speak to them and you wouldn't really speak to me. So I did know that your feelings of Chris Sharp. And I did want to apologize. I appreciate you stepping up and saying what you just said. It really touches me. It really means a lot. I did want to say that I'm sorry about Chris Sharp and the developments here in OVW from the bottom of my heart. Because I know sometimes...
It's not like you had anything to do with it.
Right.
You were just seeing it from the outside.
Right.
You were seeing it without having the rose-colored glasses on. Chris was a dear friend of mine for a long time. Chris has been to my home. Chris helped me a year ago move 250 bales of hay out of my farm.
Baronis brothers just do that?
and the Baronis brothers have a spider phobia, and getting in Dean Hill's barn and the June is there's a spider or two up there, and when you have the Baronis brothers hairdo, that is an invitation. That is an invitation for a spider to make a home out of it. And if you want to see the Baronis brother, one of them, have a reaction, walk up and go, is that a spider? It's hilarious. But you were looking at it from the outside. You saw something that, in retrospect, you look back, yes, we probably all would have seen that. Just didn't want to believe that it was possible.
And sometimes you can feel so strongly about something that that you just don't want to believe it. And I know the current situation with Miss Taylor Hendricks is another one of those situations where she's apparently kind of back to the Josette Byner's corner too. So there's a lot of power in that corner, and you can understand, but a lot of hearts are being broken, and a lot of friends are separating as part of OVW. And I guess it's just one of those things where we really do feel sorry for you guys, because we know that friendships are being lost, and we know that enemies are being made that you just wouldn't normally do. And, I'm just kind of glad that we're here to catch this, because this is an interesting time in OVW, and it's been an honor that you guys have let us in and done this. And this is an amazing experience to see all these happenings unfold. And so maybe run into sometimes help you guys through, because like I said, I know you have friends here that are transitioning, and sometimes it's not always for the best.
Speaking of that, under the heading of who would have thunk it, as my grandfather said, Jason Wayne, who would have thunk it? Chris Sharp, who would have thunk it? Just the idea of the way that Josette got control of this organization, the way that she has divided this organization, and the people that you would have thought would have never turned their back on the wrestling fans, OVW, and the wrestling world. Who would have thought?
So, let me ask you this. In your mind personally, what's it going to take, or I should say maybe who, even for that matter, is it going to take to stop the reign of terror that this in your mind?
Well, I thought about running her down with the GMC pickup truck, kind of hit it that far. Quite honestly, you never know. I don't want to predict anything. I mean, after Jason Wayne did his thing, after Chris Sharp did the despicable act that he did last week, it's hard to predict where this may come from. My father used to say, if a situation's gone wrong, it'll bring itself down eventually. I think the biggest concern that Josette Bynum ought to have is Josette Bynum. Because at some point she's liable to just get too big for her big girl panties. And we'll have to wait and see. Maybe what is it, the child that reaches out in a moment of panic and changes the face of history? Who knows what may happen? It may be somebody that you don't even expect. Maybe it could be Mickey. I understand there's been some about Mickey. Mickey is a loving young man that came to us with a dream, not unlike Michael Hayes that came here with a dream, not unlike every single other one of these wrestling men and women that came here with a dream of being the next Rock, the next John Cena, or Randy Orton, or Shelton Benjamin, or Brock Lesnar, or who else do I have that's come through these ropes? Mickey wanted to do that, and he came here with the blessing of his mom and dad, came here with the blessing of everyone that knew him, and he was embraced here. He was actually much like a kid that's walking the streets and he's been influenced and pulled by your gangs that are out there, but he knows it's the wrong place to be. And he finds the Boys and Girls Club or the YMCA. Gives him a safe haven to go to and a safe haven to turn into a man. And Mickey found that here. And Mickey wanted to be part of everything he's been part of. And for those of you that don't know Mickey, Mickey has grown into a man here in the last month or so. Whatever your take is on this, we are proud, and I've had Mickey on the back all the time say, "Son, superstar," and nobody smiles bigger about that than he does.
Dean, we really appreciate your time, sir. It's an honor and a pleasure having you.
My pleasure.
And we welcome you on the show again. This is Postmaster Jones from Triple Threat Talk, and this has been a pleasure to interview the one and only Mr. Dean Hill.
All right, good job, as always, by Dean Hill.
Good stuff.
Very good stuff by Dean Hill. We want to thank him for that. We want to thank Terry Bodie. As always, visit www.thefanadvocate.com or www.facebook.com/Terry P. Bodie. We want to thank him and all the fine folks over at Ohio Valley Wrestling for their continued support and in everything and all this, things that we do, from filming this show to interviewing the wrestlers or the announcers or the referees or the femme fatales or whatever it may be. They support us 110%, and we can't thank them enough for that, as always.
Right, and of course, throw out a shout out like we always do to Papa John's. Thank you very much. Brandon, tell him OVW's got a big weekend this weekend. Why don't you tell him?
Big weekend. If you're an OVW fan, you live in the Louisville area, I would definitely make sure you come to the Davis Arena, not just Saturday, but also Sunday. Saturday's Sunday night special. A lot of matches were made this evening. I'm not going to spoil them for you. You can watch the show on Thursday on Blip TV. It'll be on OVW's Facebook page. Also on channel 130 WKYI. They'll also post it there as well at 1 o'clock on Saturday or 9 o'clock. A lot of good matches were made. So obviously Saturday, come on out for our Saturday night special. It's their biggest event of the month. They put on all the stops. Matches are amazing. The guys do everything they can to put on a great show, and it always is a great show.
$10 in advance, $12 at the door. Come Saturday, come early, get a good seat. Should be a good time. And Sunday?
Sunday. How would you like to be in a movie?
Really?
Really. OVW.
Triple Threat Talk the movie?
Woohoo! We're on episode 50.
You know what we could do? Triple Threat Talk the movie. I don't know. Who could we get to play him?
Kevin Steen.
No, we gotta have an actor. I know. I'm befuddled.
Anyway, Brad Pitt.
No, he wishes.
You, Patrick Stewart, because look at
Patrick Stewart. I like it.
Engage.
That's right. Engage number 2. What?
Matt Damon.
There you go. Matt
He's
Damon.
his favorite. So
I like
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
And Will Ferrell.
Anyway, so like I was saying, the Sunday there's a movie being filmed at OVW. They haven't specified what it is yet.
They can't.
They can't specify. They took like they swore to secrecy pretty much, and they can't reveal what it was. The filming starts, I believe, around 1:30, and it goes to about like 3:30. I would suggest getting there around 12:30. That's what time I'm getting there. I don't know about him. I know he is going. I would get there early as possible because they only have a limited amount of spots to fill.
Rated G.
They have a limited amount of spots to fill, so obviously get there early if you're actually interested in doing that. Great weekend for Ohio Valley Wrestling. Check it out. Shepherdsville Road, 41 Shepherdsville Road. It's not that far from here. If you live in the Louisville area, check it out.
Real quick, next week we will be back with a full episode, like we said earlier. Keep track on the playoffs, the Spurs and the Thunder and the Heat and the Celtics.
Stanley Cup.
Keep up with the Stanley Cup, the Kings, and the Devils. Keep up with that. We'll be here to talk about it next week. Like I said, we're fighting through it. We're going to try to get back out there and try to find a couple places. We just had to get our head straight because it's been a bad news day.
Yeah.
So
It's been a bad day all the way around.
It's been a bad day for all of us personally and then as a group. So
it's just one of those things that you don't expect to happen, and then it's like you know, you can compare it to a domino effect. Once one thing falls, everything just falls after it.
It's just been a crappy day.
And that's kind of what happened today. The Fox and Hound was the first domino that fell. Everything else, all the pieces just started to fall after that.
You know, Randy Orton being suspended, that's another bad thing. It was like, hang on.
It wasn't a good day. I keep saying we're going to have coverage next week. I'm going to actually have coverage on the French Open. I'll have a lot to cover since we're not doing a full show this week. We do apologize to you guys, but it's personal issues that are going on right now. We just need to get our heads straight. I'll be honest. I mean, these guys are burnt. I'm burnt from editing. It's a dire task sometimes, and I just need a break to just get my head straight. I love doing the show. I'm not gonna lie, I love doing the show, but sometimes I just need a break, and this is one of those times. But we'll be back next week with a bunch of coverage, so stay tuned, guys.
We will be back next week. One more quick thing. It's not about, like you said, I guess kind of a mini wild card segment. It's not about the bad news. It's how you handle it. Next week, Triple Threat Talk is going to show you how we handle bad news, because we're going to come back and we're going to set the world on fire again with Triple Threat Talk. We appreciate the journey you guys are taking with us. I know it sounds like we're saying goodbye, but we're just trying to reiterate in reality that next week we'll be back. Hopefully we'll be on location, but if not, we'll be here at the homestead.
The De Niro Studios.
De Niro Studios. So, you know, whatever.
This is Big B.
This is the Doctor.
PostMaster Jones.
See you guys.